Okay. Today, what constitutes a prophet? What exactly is a prophet? What is a prophet? A lot of people don't understand. If somebody has like the gift of discernment, and the word of knowledge comes through because of the gift of discerning something. For instance, I was in a church either last time or next to the last time I preached, and the Lord allows me, because I have discernment of things. The Lord allows me to see things that's in a person's heart. I was telling my son that. Oh, Dad, I don't know if I want to believe that or not. And so I started telling him some things, and I said, I can almost tell you word for word what you're thinking when this thing starts happening, you know. Really, what am I thinking right now? And so I told him, and I got it almost word for word. And because of that, because of these spiritual gifts, some people think, I must be a prophet. I'm doing all this supernatural things, like the Bible says. I'm operating in the supernatural realm of spiritual gifts. Okay, now listen, okay? Pay close attention. Because you're operating in this realm of the supernatural spiritual gifts does not mean that you're a prophet. It does not mean you're a prophet. It doesn't mean that you're not a prophet either, because a prophet can have any of these 9 spiritual gifts, or all. Okay, but just because you operate in spiritual gifts does not mean you're a prophet. People are so confused about these things like this. And there's a lot of people out there who think that they're called as a prophet because somebody else would suggest, well, hey, you know, you're doing this, you must be a prophet. What is a prophet but to prophesy? No, not necessarily. And to tell you the truth, man, a prophet has very little to do with prophesying, because of exactly what prophesying is. Prophesying, as I understand it, and as the first king of Israel, Saul, as he did it, you go back over and look, and he was merely speaking great things about the Lord, good things to come, what God is going to do. And you know, I mean, prophesying is a form of making a statement about the goodness of God, you know, and that type of thing. And go over there and look, and you know, like, God is going to raise up His children, you know. And okay, that's a form of prophesying. Okay, now that's quite a bit of difference between prophesying and what a prophet actually is. Number one, in order to be a prophet, you have to physically see something supernatural. Physically see. Not think in your mind about I can see this by faith. It's not that. Even though that type of thing does happen. By faith, I want to see, you know, something spiritually. It's not, this thing does not happen spiritually only. It's a mixture of a spirit and natural. And I'll read it to you. Numbers 12:6. Miriam and Aaron had came against Moses, and the Bible says God spoke suddenly. And he said, and listen to this, and he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision, and I will speak to him in a dream." I will make myself known to him. Now, the only way God can make himself known to anybody is physically. It has to be done physically. So this supernatural thing, godly thing that you see has to be seen physically. I know because I have been there. Okay? I have this qualification. I have this qualification. I looked up in the sky in the middle of the day, lightning flashed, and took the perfect shape of the devil. For 12 years I thought I was condemned to go to hell, until I read in the book of Luke, chapter 10, down about verse 18. It says, "I beheld Satan as lightning fall from heaven." 4 or 5 verses there. Just God let me know right there that he put his stamp on me. Okay, so, and that's the kind of thing that has to happen to every prophet. Prophet can't be called by men, can't be doctrinated. Somebody else can't suggest to you that, hey, you know, you're a prophet. No, it don't work that way. God right here says, "If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him." In other words, God calls only God can call a prophet. Only God can call an apostle of God. Now, I can make an apostle, okay, but he won't be an apostle of God. Jesus had 12 apostles. This is what an apostle is. An apostle is one sent. If I send my son to the grocery store to do a deed for me, he is an apostle unto me until he gets that deed done. Okay? And by the same measure, when Jesus says, "I'm going to send you into all the world, and you're going to be a witness unto me to many nations. You're going to go before kings and before princes." When he points his finger at you, no, and you say, by that standard we're all apostles. No, we're not, because he hadn't pointed any finger. When you hear the words, you see him face to face, like the Apostle Paul did. Like the Apostle Paul saw him and heard his voice and said, and the Lord said to him, "I'm going to send you." That made Paul an apostle. Okay. You can't become an apostle any other way. God only, you don't see any colleges ordaining apostles for that reason, and nor prophets. Okay, so what about those people who think they are prophets and have honestly mistaken who they are? God doesn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. If this person thinks they're a prophet all the days of their life, and they try to do the best that they possibly can, loving God, holding themselves righteously before God, somehow God will let them know they're not, and if for some reason he doesn't, when they get to heaven, the Lord is going to say, "Well, no, you didn't have that gift, but that's okay, you know, because you made an honest mistake." Listen, when people make honest mistakes, God doesn't condemn us for honest mistakes. When we're doing our very best, how do I know that? Well, because the Bible says, Hebrews 10 and 16, "This is a covenant that I will make with them after those days. I will put my laws in their mind, and their hearts will I write them. and I always say that backwards, I will put my laws in their hearts and in their minds while I write them. And when we look at the covenant that God has established, it's a heart covenant. We do our best because of what we love. We're not perfect. We're not perfect. But we do our best with what we love and the best we understand. Nobody's perfect, you know. That's how I know that God's not going to throw an honest person out. He's looking for honesty. He might let you go all the days of your life thinking you're a prophet, and you may not be a prophet at all, you know. Apostles, they may let somebody go thinking they're an apostle even though they're not. And listen, God is really wise. He's smart, a lot smarter than we ever thought. He knows how to get people's attention. He knows how to cause people to work in realms. He knows how to cause people to use the intellect that they have to cause others to be jealous to want that thing. You know, somebody like Jesse Duplantis or some of the other television evangelists, there's men that follow them around with notebooks. Everything they do, they're writing everything down. You know, they want to know how to get this stuff. But it only comes from God. It only comes from God. And that's how you can tell. You know, if you think you're a prophet, now there's probably people who have seen supernatural things that are not prophets. So how do you know if you are a prophet? If you have seen something and you want to know if you're a prophet or not, well, there's another part to this verse that I just read here. Numbers 12:6. It says, I, the Lord, will make myself known to him in a vision. In a vision. That's something you see physically. You see something spiritually with your physical eyes. That's a vision. He says, I shall speak with him in a dream. That's how you can tell. If God speaks to you in dreams, if you have seen something supernatural and God speaks to you in dreams, I think it's kind of neat that he done it like that, because a lot of people, you know, seen a lot of things, but God speaks to them in dreams is what seals the deal. Is God speaking to you in dreams? Is he speaking to that one in dreams? It's a personal thing. God has, everything he has done is a personal thing. You know what I believe? I believe even though this vision that I saw was physical, I don't think anybody else seen it but me. I alone saw this vision. It was 300 feet high and 150 feet wide. Brightest light that you ever could have imagined. But I was the only one that seen it. And God does things like that on purpose, just so that everybody can keep guessing. Is he real? Is he real? And I'm the only one who knows for sure. Am I real? And he'll do you the same way. He does all his children the same way. Because it's a personal relationship. A personal relationship. He doesn't want to parade you before the world saying, look, this is my son in whom I am well pleased. He wants to parade us before heaven and say, look, this is my son who kept the faith. Who kept the faith. In whom I am well pleased. All right, God bless you. Thank you for joining me. See you next time right here. Another great message. Crossing the Middle Ministry.